Hi, Janet, JDK Counseling. I hope you're doing well. I'd like to talk with you this morning about a little communication strategy that can make having hard conversations just a little bit easier and gets us out of the pattern of blaming and shaming and distancing um, ourselves from the people that we love or colleagues or even groups of people. None of us respond well when we feel blamed or shamed. And so often, when we use the words you or they or those or should um, in a sentence, we're often blaming without realizing or without intending to do that. And none of us respond well or even listen when we feel that we're on the defensive, even if it's a legitimate thing that a person did that was wrong. um, Being shamed and blamed doesn't help. And there's a difference between being blamed and being held accountable. And this, you know, something as simple as our kids do something or our colleagues mess up a deadline, whatever it is, there are more positive ways to handle that. And using I statements is one of those. And using an I statement is simply using a sentence structure. I feel this emotion when this happens. For example, I feel really worried and angry when you're out late and have not called me or texted me as we agreed that we would do. That what that does is that states I feel this way when this behavior happens, when you engage in this behavior, and it breaks the agreement that we had about this. The blaming version of that statement would be, you are so darn inconsiderate because you never called, no matter how many times we've talked about this. Both are talking about the same incident, but they convey the message in an entirely different way. The I statement gives the other person an opportunity to respond with an I statement. Yes, I did this. I'm sorry I did this. And an attempt to repair the relationship or the behavior as the agreement or create a new agreement or whatever. It's a simple thing to do using an I statement, but it's also it's more challenging than we think it is because we're used to talking in the distancing language, the you, the they, the thems, which automatically puts any individual or group on the defensive and quite honestly doesn't allow for understanding or resolution, whether it's between us and our kids, colleagues, our spouses, our partners, even among groups. So I'd really encourage you, first of all, just to kind of pay attention and catch how often you use the words they, them, those, or you when talking to or about someone. Practice in your own mind first. See if you can catch it, and then see if you can switch that to an I statement. It takes a little bit of practice. I feel when the behavior. Practice doing that in your own head a couple times. Then, the next time a situation arises, instead of using a blaming sentence, try to use an I statement. Try to use I statements consistently throughout the discussion. See how the tone, how the flavor, how the resolution of the discussion changes, and also calls people into accepting their own feelings and responsibility about behaviors. If you need some help or coaching, you can always get a hold of me at jan@therapysecure.com. Take care, everyone, and be well.